A lot of what we've been told about organizing our homes is actually wrong. I know people love to say that if you just buy more bins, your house will magically stay tidy, but it doesn't really work that way. In fact, the more storage I bought, the more I felt like I was doing something when really I was just hiding the mess, not solving it. I used to fill baskets, boxes, little drawers thinking I was being organized. But I wasn't. I was just covering up the overwhelm. And that's how the clutter stayed. And the mental weight kept piling on. After years of trying every tip, failing a dozen times, and living in all kinds of chaos, I finally figured out a handful of simple rules that actually work. These are real habits that helped me in a real messy house, not some perfect system. Just simple things that actually made life easier. In this video, I'll walk you through 12 practical, low-pressure decluttering tips you can actually do. Most of them take just a minute or two. And the best part, they've helped me stop cleaning the same mess over and over again every week. So, today I'm going to show you how to break that exhausting cycle so your home feels lighter, calmer, and more manageable every single day. Number 1, we're starting with the laundry test. You know that shirt that always ends up clean folded and back in the drawer, but somehow never gets worn? Not because it's ruined or ugly, but because you already know deep down it doesn't feel good on you. This is the moment to ask yourself a better question. While you're folding, pause and hold up each item. If this was the only clean thing left in my closet, would I actually want to wear it today? Not someday. Not maybe if I lose a few pounds. Right now. That one question helped me get rid of more clothes than any closet clean-out ever did. Because when I was honest, I realized how many things I was keeping out of guilt, not love. Clothes that didn't fit right, didn't feel like me, or just reminded me of a version of myself I no longer needed to be. Letting them go wasn't about giving up. It was about finally choosing to feel good in the body and life I have today. And honestly, that's when mornings started feeling a lot lighter. And tomorrow I'll be sharing a simple strategy for dealing with just-in-case clothes, the ones you keep for a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. Don't miss it. Next up, let's talk about the vacation test and how it reveals what you actually love without even stepping outside your house. You stand in front of your closet every morning and somehow, it still feels like you have nothing to wear. Not because you don't have options, but because most of them don't really feel like you anymore. That's where the vacation test comes in. If you were packing for a weekend away somewhere casual, familiar, where you just want to feel good and be yourself, would this item make it into your bag? Think about it. You only get space for a few outfits. You won't pack anything that's too tight, too fussy, too maybe someday. You'll pack your go-to jeans, the comfy tee that always works, the one dress that makes you feel put together without trying. Now look at your closet again. How many things in there would actually make the cut? I did this once with just my tops. I realized I had over 20, but only 5 that I ever reached for, and they were the same 5 I packed for every trip, every time. The rest, I kept them for reasons that had nothing to do with how they made me feel. This question is simple, but it's powerful. Because when you imagine being away from home without all the guilt and noise, your real preferences become crystal clear. And when we're honest about what we'd take with us, it gets easier to let go of what we wouldn't even miss. The next tip leans into that first gut feeling you have when you pick something up before your brain even has time to argue. Once in a while, you already know the answer, you're just talking yourself out of it. That's what I started noticing every time I held up something I didn't use but still kept. I'd feel that little ugh in my stomach, a pause, a weight, something slightly uncomfortable. And then 5 seconds later, I'd hear myself thinking, well, maybe I'll need it someday, or it's still in good condition, or it was expensive. Sound familiar? That first gut reaction is more honest than all the excuses that follow. Your body usually knows before your brain starts negotiating. And when I finally started listening to that first response, that instant yes or no feeling, decluttering got so much easier. One day, I picked up a mug I hadn't used in months. My first thought was, ugh, I don't even like the way this one feels in my hand. But then I immediately thought, but it's a gift, or it matches the set, or it's not broken. Still, I never reached for it. It was just sitting there, taking up space. I didn't even like giving it. The gut check isn't about being harsh. It's about noticing what your space is trying to tell you. When something doesn't feel right, that's your cue. You don't need a long reason. That quiet no is enough. Because the more we ignore those small discomforts, the more clutter builds without us realizing. And next we'll look at what happens when you do let your brain talk you into keeping everything and how to spot the voice that's quietly keeping you stuck. From time to time, the real clutter isn't on your shelves, it's in your mind disguised as logic. You pick something up and think, I haven't used this in a year. But then, without missing a beat, that little voice chimes in, what if I need it later, or, but I spent money on it, or, it might come in handy someday. That voice. It's not you being smart, it's you being afraid. We all have that inner narrator that's trying to protect us from making a mistake. Mine often says, don't be wasteful, or that could be useful. Maybe not now, but eventually. But here's the truth. Keeping something out of fear is not the same as keeping it because it serves you. I started calling that voice future me's lawyer. She always builds a strong case for keeping things. But once I gave her a name, it helped me step back and see the pattern and interrupt it. Now when she speaks up, I ask, do I want to keep this out of confidence or out of guilt? Because the things that stay in your home should support your present, not hold you hostage for a version of the future that might never come. Next, we're going to look at a way to handle sentimental clutter without guilt, without losing the memory, and without keeping every object that ever meant something. Letting go of everyday stuff is one thing, but sentimental items. That's where it gets harder. We keep baby clothes long after the baby has grown. We keep grandma's teacups even though we've never once used them. We hold on to things not because we love them, but because we're afraid of forgetting. Here's something that helped me separate love from obligation. I started taking photos of the things I felt emotionally tied to, and then asked myself, is the photo enough to remember this by? 9 times out of 10 it was. The tiny pair of shoes from my daughter's first steps. I snapped a picture, wrote down a little memory in a notebook, and let the shoes go. Because they weren't what I loved, it was the moment, and I still have that. This isn't about pretending things don't matter. It's about choosing a few meaningful keepsakes you truly love and letting go of the rest so you can actually see and enjoy them. When everything is special, nothing is. A small box of real memories feels far better than a house full of emotional weight. And coming up next, we're stepping out of the emotion zone and into something much more practical. A quick rule for identifying hidden clutter you don't even realize you're cleaning. There's a difference between something looking nice and something being worth the effort to keep clean. If you walk past a shelf and immediately feel tired just thinking about dusting it, that's a clue. Not about your energy level, but about the real value of what's sitting there. This is the clean it test. If you wouldn't gladly dust it, wipe it or pick it up to vacuum under it. Do you actually want it in your home? I had a decorative bowl once. It looked nice on the table, but every time I cleaned around it, I sighed. I didn't love it. I wasn't excited by it. I was just used to seeing it there. The day I gave myself permission to let it go, I noticed the whole space felt lighter, not because it looked empty, but because it finally matched what I wanted to maintain. Your time and energy matter just as much as aesthetics. You don't have to justify removing something that's become a silent chore. If it's not something you want to take care of, maybe it's not something you need to keep. In the next tip, we'll shift from shelves and surfaces to something sneakier, the clutter hiding in duplicates and how to spot it. Sometimes clutter doesn't look like clutter. It looks like just in case. 4 scissors in the kitchen drawer, 7 water bottles on one shelf, 12 mugs in a house where only 2 people drink coffee. These things sneak in quietly, and they stay because, well, they still work right. But working doesn't mean needed. That's where the duplicate rule comes in. If you have more than one of something, pick your favorite, the one you reach for first, and let the rest go. Not because they're bad, but because they add invisible weight. I did this with tote bags once. I had 9, and I only ever used the same one every time. The others just took up space and made it harder to grab the one I actually liked. You don't need to declutter your whole house to feel lighter. Sometimes just choosing one mug you love and letting go of 5 extras is enough to make your morning feel simpler. The goal isn't to live with less. It's to live with what fits in your cabinets, your habits, and your everyday life. Coming up next, how to catch the things that are technically fine but quietly expired. Not broken, not ugly, just no longer needed. Some things don't break. They just quietly expire. A shirt that used to make you feel amazing but now feels a little off. A hobby kit you were excited about 2 years ago that's still sealed in the box. The decor piece that used to bring joy but now just blends into the background or worse, annoys you. Not everything has to be worn out to be done. Just like food has expiration dates, our belongings carry a kind of energy shelf life. Some things serve us for a season, and that's enough. You're allowed to thank them for what they brought into your life, and then let them go when they stop giving. One way to check. Ask. If I saw this item today for free, would I bring it into my home again? If the answer is no, not really, then its time with you might be over. You don't need to wait for something to fall apart before it's okay to release it. Letting go early is not wasteful. It's a sign that you're paying attention to who you are now, not just who you were then. Next, let's talk about quick decisions and how giving yourself less time to decide might actually be the key to decluttering faster. Overthinking is one of clutter's best hiding spots. You pick something up, hesitate, and before you know it, your brain is spinning with reasons to keep reasons to toss what-if scenarios and but maybe thoughts. And then you just set it down again. Nothing changes. That's where the 10-second rule helps. Pick up the item. Give yourself 10 seconds. No more. Ask, keep, or let go. Don't dig into logic. Don't Google storage hacks. Just feel, yes or no. Would you use it tomorrow? Would you care if it disappeared? It's the same part of you that makes fast decisions at the store. The I know if I want this instinct. You have it. You just forget to trust it in your own home. And if you get it wrong, that's okay. You'll get better at noticing the difference between something you're genuinely unsure about and something you're just scared to decide on. This isn't about rushing. It's about breaking the cycle of delay. Because when you start trusting your first answer, you free up so much mental space, not just in your house, but in your head. Up next, we shift from decision-making to visual clarity, starting with the areas you see and stress about every single day. Not all clutter is created equal. Some of it hides in drawers and closets, but some of it, you see it every day and it wears you down without you realizing. That's why I always start with the visible zones, the places your eyes land on the most. The kitchen counter you walk past every morning, the bathroom shelf you face while brushing your teeth, the chair in the bedroom that somehow became a laundry drop zone. You don't need a master plan. Just choose one visible spot and clear it fully, even if it's just one surface. Remove what doesn't belong, wipe it down, and leave it clean. The emotional shift is instant. That one clear space becomes a small anchor of calm. It gives your brain a break. And it creates this quiet momentum suddenly you want to keep going. I once cleared just the corner of my nightstand, no more hand lotion. I never used no stack of half-read books, just a lamp, a coaster, and one small framed photo. The next night, I slept better. Start where your eyes go first, because what you see all the time has the biggest impact on how your home feels and how you feel in it. Coming up next, let's talk about the quiet chaos of having 5 of the same thing and why enough is better than more. A lot of clutter comes from a good place, the instinct to be prepared. But somewhere along the way, just in case, quietly turns into way too much. Do you really need 6 spatulas? Or 3 nearly identical black cardigans? Or a whole basket of travel-sized shampoo bottles you never reach for? This is where the enough is enough test comes in. Look at the category, not the item. Choose what you actually use and love, and let the rest go. You don't need 5 water bottles if you only use 1. You don't need a drawer full of notebooks if you always reach for the same one. I used to keep every half-used candle in case I wanted a backup scent. All they did was fill up space and make the good ones harder to find. Having backups isn't wrong, but too many backups becomes noise. Ask yourself, what's my real number for this 1, maybe 2? Enough to feel supported, not buried. Because the truth is, when everything feels replaceable, nothing feels special. And just in case often steals space from what actually matters right now. Next up, we'll talk about personal limits. Not how much you own, but how much you can truly take care of without feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes it's not the clutter itself that wears you down, it's how much of it you feel responsible for. There's a moment, and you've probably felt it when your home crosses some invisible line. You're not just managing stuff anymore, you're drowning in it. Not because you're lazy, but because you've hit your threshold. That's what this rule is about, learning to notice your personal limit. It's different for everyone. Some people are fine with packed bookshelves and drawers full of options. Others feel calmer with just the essentials out in the open. But either way, once you pass your own limit, you stop caring because caring becomes exhausting. I realized this when I stopped folding clothes neatly. I wasn't lazy, I was overloaded. Too many clothes meant too many decisions, too many piles, too much mental noise. It wasn't a space problem, it was an energy problem. Ask yourself, how much can I keep while still feeling in control? That number is your threshold. And staying under it, not perfection, not minimalism, is what brings peace. You don't have to own less than everyone else. You just need to own less than your tipping point. And now that you've seen the 12 rules that changed how I live in my home, let's wrap this up and bring it all together. That's it. 12 simple, honest rules I use to keep my home calm without constantly cleaning. None of this is about perfection. It's about giving yourself less to manage, less to decide, and more room to breathe. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't try to do it all. Just start with the one tip that felt doable today and let that small shift show you what's possible. I have another video that walks through decluttering room by room with real-life examples and zero pressure. Watch that next if you want to keep going but gently. And if this helped you feel a little lighter, a little more clear, hit like or subscribe not for the algorithm, but because you deserve a space that takes care of you for once. You've got this. I'm rooting for you.